Beautiful. Where's the Zoom? Nobody yet. Okay. Okay. Cliff.
Yeah.
You look 10 years younger.
Just wish I felt 10 years younger.
Did you do anything bad over the weekend?
Nope.
Okay. We got no Fru and no Mike.
And no Eileen.
No Eileen either?
Oh, Fru's bailed out?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So I'll take Eileen off too?
Well, no. Let me call Eileen.
I'll put up the C shot. Oh, we're done, Eileen.
Has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Eileen, it's Cliff. Is Mike bailed? Fru? Yeah. We need you to call in.
Okay, we're Zoom in. Which one?
Zoom.
Okay, all right, doing it now.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay.
Okay, that's good. I'll watch for her. Let's see what's going on with Zoom. Look at those glowing lights behind Sacred Heart Church. It's odd when it's raining, isn't it? Here's Eileen. Morning, Eileen. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Did you do anything bad over the weekend?
Yeah. No, actually, I rested a lot. Anthony was at his buddy's in Wellesley, and then I had to go and pick him up on Saturday night late because there was some boy drama.
Well, you can call it boy drama, but when you take us away from our friends and we're having a good time, we don't like it.
Well, I think it was complicated.
Clifford, you can tip the screen up a little bit with this on the top of your head. Looks like we're doing 60 minutes. But they cut off people's heads. So, Cliff, you're on whatever you want. I'll put your mic on. You're on.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. We have Eileen Delrossi with us, school committee member here in Lowell. And, of course, we have our producer, John McDonough. So,
Mike's taking the day off today, and Fru had to go into work early.
yeah. So, we've had our St. Patrick's Day parade down in Boston, but the real day is tomorrow, and we can all be Irish for a day and celebrate.
Yeah, go looking around for your green today so you look appropriate tomorrow. Good idea, Cliff.
Yeah.
I know I found my green and put it on today. Now I'm going to change to pink.
Well, your camera's on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a free show wouldn't be bad, but after 7 we can't do that stuff. The word police come at 7.
Geez, I thought you were in your hospital scrubs, Eileen. So, the national debt is moving on towards $39 trillion. And it won't be a problem until it is.
Cliff, it's never going to be a problem. It's backed up by what?
Nothing.
Faith. Faith
And when the other countries lose faith in it, what happens?
ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
So we have 42 degrees temperature going to a high of 62 with rain forecast.
It's raining now.
Oh,
Let me put the rain up there. Oh, that's the wrong spot. Let me put 5, I think. It's raining.
And it'll be raining during the day.
That's the plan. Yep, it's raining.
So on this day in history in 597 BC, the first siege of Jerusalem by the Babylonian Empire ends with the city surrendering to King Nebuchadnezzar II. So, in 1621, Samoset, an Abenaki Native American, visits the settlers of Plymouth Colony and greets them, "Welcome, Englishmen. My name is Somerset." So, English has been used in this country for a long time. 1660, the Long Parliament of England is dissolved so as to prepare for the new Convention Parliament. So at that time, the English and us were transitioning away from the Cromwell's ruling and going back to a king. In 1916, the 7th and 10th U.S. Cavalry Regiments under John J. Pershing crossed the U.S.-Mexico border to join the hunt for Pancho Villa.
What's Pancho Villa?
Pancho Villa is a guy who came across the border and raided an American city.
Okay.
He was leading a revolution in Mexico.
All righty. Thank you.
Do you know why Pershing was known as Black Jack?
No, the thought never crossed my mind, but please enlighten the audience.
Because he commanded black troops in the U.S. Army before Woodrow Wilson came in and segregated the Army against and the rest of Washington.
Oh.
In 1926, Robert Goddard launched the first liquid-fueled rocket at Auburn, Massachusetts.
Now, Cliff, when they had segregation of the Army, did they keep the Chinese in a different unit too?
No, just blacks and
Mexicans?
everybody.
Mexicans?
What?
Mexicans?
They were with everybody else.
So what was the plus side of segregation?
There was no plus side.
So how did
But it represented the continuation of the Southern resistance to emancipation.
But how did they sell it to the government if there was no plus side to it? And if you don't know, you can't know everything.
The Southern members of Congress, they wanted segregation. We had segregation in the United States for quite a while.
Not up this way.
Not what?
Not up this way.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Not up this way.
Oh, what about the big brouhaha over busing?
What about busing?
Don't you remember that there were demonstrations down in Boston over the decision for busing?
They just wanted to spend more money on buses. We used to walk to school. That's healthier. The general public wants to continue to walk to school. I mean, when you see, my wife doesn't like me using the word cluster, that happens every day at the Rogers School, for dropping kids off. You got mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, dads dropping their kids off, fighting with the buses for the same drop-off point, and for about 20 minutes, it's a circus. Something you just get used to, but completely unnecessary. On a rainy day, every kid should get a ride to school. On a beautiful day, every kid should walk.
Yeah.
Back to ancient history, Cliff, please.
Eileen?
Yes. No, even through traffic, because I came home that way one day and I took a right onto Highland Street to get home, but it blocks all through traffic on that street. You can't even move.
Got a bunch of parents that don't listen to anybody. I'm going to do it my way and get the heck out of my way. And it's only 20 minutes, so you just let it happen. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon.
So, Eileen, are we redistributing students based upon some court order for the purposes of integration?
Yes. So Regina Pedicanti actually worked on that a great deal when she was on the school committee. It's the desegregation order that was put in place in 1990 something, and it required that all schools have a proportionate amount of students in terms of race, ethnicity, gender, special ed status, ELL, so forth. But honestly, our city has grown so much. I think you get that in every neighborhood regardless. And I look at the bus situation all the time and I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare, because if we only just allowed the neighborhoods to be and let it go back to neighborhood schools, it would be a lot easier.
What do we spend? $8 million a year on buses?
Probably.
Okay.
Something should get looked at, but I think the desegregation order was never implemented. It was talked about. I don't think it was ever implemented. But we'll wait for Friday when Regina's here.
All right.
I know it definitely was implemented into law because you can find it online. And that's the reason when everyone starts to talk about neighborhood schools, everyone gets all up in arms because it relates directly to that desegregation order. And you're right, we should wait for Regina to talk about it because I do not know enough about it to talk about it. So, yeah, let's wait to ask Regina. But I don't know how many millions we're spending on busing.
In 1935, Adolf Hitler orders Germany to rearm itself in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Conscription is reintroduced to form the Wehrmacht. In 1968, during the Vietnam War, the My Lai massacre occurs. Between 347 and 500 Vietnamese villagers are killed by American troops. That was a disaster. 1978, former Italian Prime Minister Aldo Moro is kidnapped. He's later murdered by his captors. The body is found down by the marble factory just down the road from where we were living.
Who got murdered?
Aldo Moro.
What's he famous for?
Former Italian Prime Minister.
Did you hear how the Italians, you're not Italian anymore?
What?
There's a big thing going on in Italy right now. They're disclaiming there's a new understanding of the law of being a citizen of Italy. So if you think you're Italian, check with the Italian government, you might not be Italian anymore.
What about ancestry DNA?
You bubbled up, Eileen. Say it again.
Oh, sorry. What about ancestry DNA? Do you think that will change the results on there?
Well, there's a thing where if you weren't born in Italy, my takeaway, and I just read 2 paragraphs on it. If you weren't born in Italy, you are not a citizen.
Right.
Your roots can be there, but you're not a citizen. So you can't run away from. So Eileen, you can't run away from America and go to Italy.
That's okay. I'm still working on getting my passport anyway.
In 1984, back when the producer was alive, William Buckley, CIA station chief in Lebanon, is kidnapped by Hezbollah. He later dies in captivity. And in 1985, Associated Press newsman Terry Anderson is taken hostage in Beirut, Lebanon, and he's not released until December 1991. And in 1988, during the Iran-Contra affair, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North and Vice Admiral John Poindexter are indicted on charges of conspiring to defraud the United States.
Did he get convicted?
Yeah.
Did you
I
ever
think
meet
so.
Oliver? Did you ever meet North?
No. Did you?
No, but people that I know said he's a nice guy. That's all they said. He's a nice guy. And he got railroaded. He was really not guilty. He did it under the order of the president.
So, in 1995, Mississippi finally gets around to formally ratifying the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution, becoming the last state to approve the abolition of slavery. It was officially ratified by sufficient number back in 1865. In 1751, James Madison was born, 4th President of the United States, passed away in 1836. And in 1927, Daniel Patrick Moynihan was born, sociologist, senator from New York State, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. He passed away in 2003. Daniel Patrick Moynihan was famous for writing a paper when he was in the executive branch of the federal government, saying that the way we were doing welfare, this is back in the late 1960s, the way we were doing welfare was going to be bad for blacks. And he turned out to be right. So, and that's it for their history. On Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo, I saw a clip of about a dozen Chinese robots dancing in sync. That was pretty fascinating, that you get all these robots to play like they were the Rockettes.
Did they sing?
No. And Elon Musk was quoted as saying that by 2040, there'll be more robots than humans. So, you remember HAL 9000 from the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey?
Yes.
Yeah. Shouldn't we have a kill switch on AI?
Well, there's a study out there, somebody who watched AI, and the first thing AI did when it was free to do anything it wanted was to isolate contact with humans and disconnect it. It's the first thing AI wanted to do was get rid of us.
wanted you to get rid of AI, or AI wanted to get rid of you?
I'll restate what was told to me. They did an experiment. They put AI out on its own. What do you want to do, AI? And the first thing it did was try to sever its contact with humans.
Well, I think that's so true. Like, I have an example, a perfect example of this weekend. I do the Dunkin' Donuts rewards thing, and I did a reward that I didn't end up using, and I thought, how do I convert it back to points? There must be a button I have to click. And then I researched how you convert it back to points, and they said you have to call customer service. I was like, no way, nobody calls anywhere anymore. There's always a button. And and there's not. If you convert something to points, then you have to call and talk to a human to convert it back. And I must say, the gentleman I talked to was very pleasant and helpful, but they don't really, like, I believe it's achieved its goal a great deal with many people, especially the younger generations, because our first inclination is to not call somebody. It's to click a button or to figure out another way to do it without talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Well, AI will very often nowadays poke their face onto your screen and say, we're here to help. And it's like the government, they're really not here to help. That's my takeaway.
Well, and we're fighting AI here in Lowell, so
How are we fighting it, Cliff?
we're not allowing any more data centers.
Oh, that's true, yep. Rain's coming down pretty good.
So I hear no rain here in Belvedere.
Oh, it's raining in Belvedere, too. I have a button for Mahoney's. Let me see.
So,
Now, that's Porter Street. Right here, that's Porter Street. And this is Rogers Street right here. And it's raining over there, Cliff. You look out
Rogers Street, Mahoney's is on Rogers Street?
Cliff, I think you know. I talked to a woman friend of mine, and she said, I have the perfect answer for Cliff because he loves to correct you. You know what I meant. So, this is Desmond Street. This is Porter Street. I might be able to get we have cameras over to Mahoney's, too. Let me see if I get Mahoney's.
I also have another thought on AI. I believe Cliff has programmed AI, and his name is Bart, and he calls in at the right times and says the right things at the right times according to Cliff's agenda. But I believe it's completely programmed by Cliff Krieger.
Well, thank you for the compliment, Eileen.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Run, hide, fight.
This is Mahoney's parking lot up in Belvedere, and it's coming down pretty good.
Okay. So Thursday we had 2 terrorist events. We didn't have any over the weekend. It was a terrorist-like event in Canada, although I'm sure they'll play it down. Is anybody concerned about this? I mean, I expect more. Do you expect more, Eileen?
Concerned about what, Cliff?
Terrorist events.
Terrorist events.
Yeah.
I heard
ISIS-related or ISIS-inspired mayhem, like throwing bombs into crowds.
I was listening to a talk show over the weekend, and the woman who was the talk master on the show, she said, if you're religious and you're going to worship, you should bring your weapon if you have one.
Is that even legal in Massachusetts?
I got concealed carry. I can carry my gun anyplace. Concealed.
I know there's down where my youngest son lives, there are several people that carry into church. So they're prepared to defend themselves. Eileen, has the school committee talked about this? Are we checking security?
You asked about this last week, and not that I know of, we do have a school committee meeting Wednesday, so it sounds like this is something definitely worthy to bring up. But I have a feeling if any type of attacks tend to happen, it could happen on Friday through Ramadan. Well, because Friday starts El Fatir, the holy Muslim holiday when Ramadan begins. And I think if we can get through that time without any types of attacks, then I believe that we may be okay. I don't know.
Comment from the audience. Good morning. We had a terrorist threat last night. It was called the Oscars. That's from Jay. Did you watch the Oscars, Cliff?
No, I did not.
How about you, Eileen?
No, I went to bed early.
Well, I watched the runway thing. I love to look at the adorable outfits that mostly the woman wears. The guys, once in a while you get a guy who wears a nice looking, a new looking outfit. But the gals dressed to the 9 yards. I enjoyed that part. And my family, we have a habit of watching movies that are nominated for an Oscar. So we watched a lot of those movies. And I never saw the one that won all the big awards there. But Sinners, I watched Sinners. That was an unusual movie. And I watched another movie called Secret Agent. We couldn't get through that movie. It had subtitles, couldn't get through the movie. We ended up shutting it off. So we learned a lesson because you pay to watch these things. And that was the most expensive. It was $15 for that one. We should have watched the trailer, and then we would have known it was all subtitles. We didn't know that. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah, Eileen, I think Eid al-Fitr is the end of Ramadan, not the beginning.
No, it's the beginning. It starts the Ramadan. Eid al-Fitr, it's Eid al-Allah that ends it.
Oh.
Eileen, you're better off just to say, you know what I meant. That'll shut him down.
So,
I got a question for you, Cliff, from the audience.
What?
From Bart. Did Cliff find out about the missing UFO general? Was he beamed up like his wife suggests? What are his contacts at the Pentagon saying? That's from Bart.
I checked into that, and I think that he's pretty distant from the Pentagon now.
Because he's in space? That's his distance?
No. It's a form of speech.
What does it mean?
It means that his contacts have greatly diminished at the Pentagon. So, I don't know. It's another mystery, sort of like Nancy Guthrie.
I got a comment from Jay. Dressing to the nines is a thing of the past. Most people can't even put on a coat and tie for a funeral. That's from Jay. Jay, you are mistaken. Most funerals, it's a fashion show. People they look awesome. Especially the ladies. They dress to the nines. They look fantastic. And there's a few people that don't dress up. But I would say it's less than 10%. 90% of the people they put a coat and tie on.
moving on, the war in Ukraine continues. There was a big Russian aerial raid over the weekend, damaged power production, killed 500 missiles and drones, 28 locations hit.
Is Ukraine all done?
No,
We don't hear about Ukraine no more.
it staggers on.
Well, do you think when the Chinese try to take over, where are they trying to go after next? Thailand or someplace like that? They're trying to take over a country there. And do you think that'll be reported in the news?
Yeah,
Nah, I don't think so.
so the war that we're involved in,
Taiwan. China
what?
wants to take over Taiwan, and when they do take over Taiwan, we'll just look the other way.
I don't think so. There could be a lot of dead people after that war. I would think we're starting to run out of military targets, which means they'll be going after infrastructure, which will need to be replaced. That'll make it expensive.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Cliff, because over the weekend I was watching some videos from citizens in Iran videoing the troops hiding under bridges. So I can see why they're going to go after those bridges.
Yeah. So, I was exchanging texts with Ralph Hogan over the weekend, and he pointed out there are already long lines of cars seeking to buy gas in China. So we probably complain. The cost of gas where I buy it's up 40 cents a gallon, but no long lines.
Well,
But in
China needs to step up to the plate and send their aircraft carrier over to the Gulf and escort some boats out of the region. Escort some oil tankers out.
Well, Iran is threatening to shut down the Straits of Hormuz.
They have.
Well, a couple people have gotten through.
And
Couple
didn't
people
both of
have
those
died.
tankers? Didn't both of those tankers burn to the ocean floor?
No. Couple guys got tagged.
Tagged, the whole boat's gone.
Yeah. So, the Democrats in Congress are opposed to this, but there's been no war powers resolution passed either house. But if the Democrats win the House in November, I'm sure in January they'll impeach President Trump over this. What do you think, Eileen? Are we going to have a third impeachment? Hello, Eileen? At moments like this, I wonder if I should call 911.
Cliff, I think that this game of our side's got to win. We've got to contact the likes of Lori Trahan and try to get to Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey that this our side's got to win is ruining the country.
Yeah. No need to call 911. I'm okay. And my next journey in the Cliff Notes is to highlight how many times you've contacted or tried to reach Lori Trahan. I really want to count them because it happens in like most of your Cliff Notes. And then we always say, did she return your call? And you always say no. But I think that Trump is just so, like, what's the word, intense with his movements that the other side will do whatever they can and will do whatever they can to impeach him a third, a fourth, a fifth time, and he's just going to continue to not care.
I really think that Lori Trahan believes that her position is good for the United States. And
No.
Elizabeth Warren, the same thing.
It's what the Democrats want.
Yeah, which is good for the United States.
But why aren't we paying for the guys at the airport to inspect us, the TSA guys? Why aren't we paying for them? How is that good for America?
Because they are trying to force the president.
Who's the they?
The Democrats, are trying to force the president to change how ICE is conducting its mission.
ICE is a disgrace. I agree. They should be.
Why
paid.
is it a disgrace?
Cliff, I wanted to have them on the show, so I called down to Burlington, which is their local headquarters, and the answering machine says, "Hi, this is ICE. We don't take any phone calls. Email us." Okay, so I emailed them. Never got a response. Zippity doodah, no response. They are a circus of a police organization, and it looks like Trump hired all of his friends to run ICE because it's doing a terrible job. They can pull you out of your car, leave it running on the curb, haul you away. Martha's not going to... Cliff never came home. So she calls the cops. "Oh, Martha, we found the car down Manson Street. It was running. But we don't know where he went. He wasn't in the car." That's the tactics that ICE has. Terrible.
They seem to be operating in 80% of the states without any problem.
Cliff, there's zero communication with ICE. Try to call him. Get him as a guest. Try to bring him as a guest to find, okay, how should we react when ICE pulls us over? What should we do?
Why would I subject them to that kind of abuse?
I just want to know, what papers should I carry? How could you prove you're a citizen here? I'm just wondering, how would you prove? So we pulled you over, we yanked you out of the car, I got you in cuffs, you're in our brand spanking new Tahoe, and we're heading off to leave you in Indiana. How do you prove you're a citizen?
My ID card.
Oh, you have an ID card that says I'm a citizen? I don't. I know you've been here 10 years longer than me, but I don't have an ID card.
Well, I'm sorry.
You'll have to show that to me the next time you see me. I got 2 comments from the audience. Drill, baby, drill. We have enough oil on our soil to become independent and energy independent. Respectfully, if you enter this country illegally, you should be arrested and jailed because you broke the law. Jay, I'll say this to you. I'll bet you're not the first generation here. And your parents, your grandparents migrated to this country. How could you prove your grandparents came here legally? That's a challenge, Jay. I can't prove my grandparents came here legally. Actually, my great-grandparents. I can't prove that. But since we've been paying income taxes for over 100 years, I guess they let me stay. But I can't prove my grandparents came here legally. Can you prove yours came here legally, Cliff?
No, they're escapees from Canada.
So you might... I would watch out for ICE, and I would have that card with me all the time that proves you're a citizen, and hope that it's acceptable to the crazy people who work at ICE.
Yeah.
Homeland Security should be paid for the airport and just defund ICE until they get their act better.
Unfortunately, ICE is funded for quite a while yet. In the big, beautiful bill. So,
I don't like it. They're crazy police department, crazy.
well, Governor Healy and the Attorney General Andrea Campbell, they're starting a new statewide initiative to combat and prevent hate crimes, which they see as part of ICE misconduct, that ICE is conducting hate crimes. I'm not sure I see it that way.
When you say, well, what are you sure of, Cliff?
Well, I'm pretty sure that if you're not a European and you sneak into the country illegally, it's not a hate crime to deport you.
If you're walking down the street with a certain hat on your head, they're gonna pull you over and ask you for prove you're a citizen. I don't even know how they conduct an interview with you. I'm told they use facial recognition technology to verify who you are.
Yeah? But you don't think that they're, by and large, going after illegal immigrants?
Cliff, I would love to communicate with them and ask them. I have no idea. How do you know they're doing that?
Because of their numbers. They're
What numbers?
deporting hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants.
Those are newspaper reports. Have you seen government printed figures?
No.
Okay. And you trust the media?
Yeah, a little bit.
News reports they're getting rid of hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands are leaving on their own. Okay. All I want ICE to do is to come here and tell us, what do I got to do to prove that I'm a citizen? What do I need? Do I need a little star on my driver's license?
Well, that should prove that you're a citizen, right? Real ID?
What do they think? See, what you say is effective ID, and what I say is an effective ID, might be different with ICE. I mean, they can pick up some guy now, just walking his woman walking their kids to the Rogers School. ICE can pick them up. And there's not a doggone thing we can do, but they're just bringing their kids to school, for Christ's sake. It's a scary time.
Wait.
I shouldn't be able to do
But
that.
are they illegal immigrants?
No. How do I know that? Well, they're getting a check.
Getting a check from who?
They get public assistance.
Illegal immigrants get public assistance.
So if you're an illegal immigrant, you're getting public assistance, you should be investigated. The person giving you the benefits should be investigated.
Yeah, well, that person's just doing what they're told. So,
I got comments from the audience, Cliff. I guess I can go on a plane, buy liquor, gamble, buy weed, and produce no ID. Yes, that's true. As long as you look like you're over 21, they'll get you whatever you want. Next text is, it sounds like the crew, C-R-U-X, of the crux, I guess the crux of the problem here is that ICE won't come on the show. No, but they won't come on any show. Have you seen them on News Center 5 explaining how would you prove that you're a citizen? So they pull you over, Bart. Some computer says you're an illegal alien. They leave your car at the curb, and they send you down to Kentucky. How would you prove you're a citizen? And I'll bet you don't know. I don't know anybody who does.
Don't you have to be a citizen to have a real ID?
How do you prove you're a citizen?
Your driver's license.
Well, the driver's license, will that suffice to ICE? is the question, and no one can answer that. Another comment from the audience, how can you get a public assistance without a license and a household? Well, like Jay, the proof in the pudding is all the people who Tommy Golden herded to the South Common, the homeless, they all have an electronic card that gets refunded every month. You don't need an address.
So anyway, back to the governor and the attorney general. So they issued this thing, the website says, asking you to submit comments about unlawful activities or misconduct by ICE and other federal agencies. It says your submission may help the governor's office and or attorney general's office identify patterns of potential misconduct by federal agents, inform possible legal actions or policy recommendations, and support affected residents. So, here we have Maura Healy and Andrea Campbell wanting to police misconduct on the part of federal agencies when they can't police misconduct in the state police. I mean, do they know what they're doing?
No. The governor's race is a popularity contest. It's not what you know. It's how many blind followers you have that will vote for you. I mean, look at our recent Senate race. I mean, poor Eddie Kennedy went off to heaven one day, and we replaced him with a good for nothing state senator. What do you think Vanna Howard's going to do? She's going to give you a big bowl of nut and honey. Oh, don't talk like that about Vanna. Well, look she's been down the State House for a few years, I think 4 years. What's she done? Coming down pretty good out there. That's what's on the screen there. That's the gutter.
What have any of them done? The place is run by that troika. Maura Healy, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the House. What they say goes.
You're right.
So,
comment from the audience, can I submit unlawful misconduct by the goons on Beacon Hill, including the governor and the attorney general? That's the way of the world down there. That's the third rail. You can't touch any of those people. Boy, the texts are coming in pretty good today. Why was ICE only a problem when President Trump is president, not when President Obama, Sleepy Joe, was in office? Because ICE wasn't arresting illegals when President Obama was in office, nor President Biden.
Oh, it was when Obama was in office, but not when Biden was in office.
I think you know what I meant, Cliff.
We deported a lot of people under Obama.
How many is a lot to you?
How many what?
How many is a lot? 100? 100,000?
Million?
Wow, that's significant.
So, in the meantime, down in Venezuela, we've reopened our embassy. I saw a picture of the U.S. ambassador, Laura DeGue, raising the flag on Saturday. So, our relationship with Venezuela is doing better. And I expect Laura will do an excellent job. All right. And there's unrest in Cuba. They're having economic problems, power production issues.
What production issues?
Power production. They're having trouble getting electricity.
I got you.
And they used to get cheap oil from Venezuela, and that stopped.
Well, I'm going to guess that the reason that they're running out of electricity is air conditioning is coming into play in Cuba.
No, it's because they don't have fuel.
Okay.
Anyway, there were demonstrations on the streets in Cuba over the weekend, hours after President Miguel Diaz-Canel confirmed talks with the United States and blamed President Donald Trump's blockade of oil for the issues Cuba's having. And the Miami Herald reported that Cuban officials plan to announce that Cuban exiles, both in South Florida and abroad, will be allowed to own businesses in Cuba. So I think Cuba is looking to sort of change the way they do business.
Does that mean they're going to give the hotels back to Hilton?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Hilton is not a Cuban exile-owned operation.
Well, as you probably remember, for when we had the dust up with them back during the missile crisis, they booted all the big hotel companies out of Cuba. Told me you lost your hotel. Goodbye.
Yeah. What would you expect from a communist government?
Well, this business of they're going to let outsiders invest in Cuba, if I was Hilton, I would be sending them a phone call to the president saying, you're going to give me my hotel back.
Yeah. I think that would be a good practice to do. So I'm still concerned President Biden's library is not collecting enough money, so I'm looking for Bart and Jay and everybody else to pony up and help President Biden. By the way, did you see where Jill Biden is going to publish a book about her time in the East Wing?
That'll go right up as popular as Hillary's book.
Oh, Hillary had a book?
Yep. So my guess is it'll stay right just as much sales as Hillary's book.
You know, a lot of times those books are published and political supporters buy large numbers so that they can indirectly pass money to the author.
Didn't happen with Hillary.
Yeah. So, Eileen, are you going to buy Jill Biden's book?
Well, Cliff, are you going to buy it?
I doubt it. I've got a couple of other books to read. But it'd be interesting just to see her perspective. I did read KJP's book, and I read...
Who's KJP?
Karine Jean-Pierre.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows who Karine Jean-Pierre is. I got a comment from the audience. We are still paying for President Obama's library. Way over budget, not finished yet. I didn't know that was a public expense. I thought that was private funds built the library.
I would have thought it was privately funded also.
Hey, the JFK library in Boston, they're going to close that.
They are?
That was what was on News Center Boston this morning. Because Trump added his name to it. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, Trump put his name on the front of the building, and nobody wants to have a party there anymore.
I'm sorry, that may be the Kennedy Center down in Washington, not the Kennedy Library up here in Boston.
Well, why would News Center Boston be talking about it?
Because it's a way to take a swipe at President Trump. The head of the Kennedy Center has just stepped down.
Now, what was the purpose of Trump putting his name on Kennedy's whatever it is down in D.C.?
It's Trump.
Just because he could?
Yeah.
You think that was stupid?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So anyway,
I agree with you, it was stupid.
KJP was the press secretary for Joe Biden when he was president.
KJT?
P. Queen Jean-Pierre.
No one knows him either by his whole name or his nickname, CRAAP, whatever his initials are. No, I don't think people know who you're talking about, Cliff.
She. Press secretary.
You know what I meant.
Sort of cute. Up there battling with the press. All right. Eileen, help me out here. You know the Biden's press secretary? Well, maybe not.
What's the guy's name? I'll find him on
Kareem Jean-Pierre.
Kareem.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Have a go at that.
Kareem. What's the second one?
Jean, Jean.
Okay, there he is. We're going to gander at what this dude looks like. Oh, she's pretty. I used to see her on TV. The poor girl, she worked for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden wouldn't talk to her, give her answers. Some days the girl was, she's at wit's end trying to, she was the press secretary, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I used to enjoy on C-SPAN, watch her press conferences. And I said, feel so bad for her, trying as hard as she can, and Biden won't give her any text to say anything. Yeah, she's pretty. So she wrote a book too?
Yeah.
Is she tattling on Biden?
She was pretty nice to Biden, but she did drop out of the Democratic Party. Did you see where some state rep up in Michigan has dropped out of the Democratic Party because she says it's incompatible with her Christianity?
Well, how many Republicans have dropped out of their party?
I don't know. How many?
I'm asking you, since you'll keep on count of these different parties. See, I'm going to enroll. I don't care about either party. I'm being encouraged to join the Democratic Party, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
You do recognize that the parties are the ones that run the legislatures, right?
Yes, I do. And that's sad. They don't care about the Americans. They only care about their party.
And if a bunch of people with no party affiliation made up the general court down on Beacon Hill, that they would soon form up into two or more parties in order to create voting blocks. That's what happened to the U.S. Congress. There were no parties, but different views caused people to congregate together, and we ended up with parties.
Right now it stopped raining, and so enjoy this in between raindrops. We're going to be going to break in about 60 seconds, Cliff.
Well, that's good. So, you do know the history that George Washington hated parties, and there were no parties when Congress first met under the new Constitution?
I thought that George Washington was the member of it. He founded a party.
No.
Okay, well, you know better than I do, since you went to school with him. That was a joke. Obama's library looks like a prison. It's an awful looking building. I don't think it's not a lot of eye candy there.
Yeah, it's Soviet brutal architecture.
How many people do you think go to Jimmy Carter's library?
I don't know. I figure they probably get 100 people a day.
How about LBJ's library?
Probably some researchers, maybe a couple of Texans.
See, I think that it's a waste of money for these because they're popular for 6 months after they're in office, and I'm going to guess President Obama's pretty happy to just sit in his rocking chair and enjoy TV. As is Joe Biden.
Well, maybe Joe Biden is. I don't think Barack Obama is. And we've blown through the break, so welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. We have Eileen Delrossi popping in and out, and we have our producer, John McDonough.
Good morning.
Good morning, Eileen. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. Have you heard anything more about the Lowell High School Air Force ROTC cadets being told not to wear their dress blues on Thursdays?
No, the first time I heard is from you last Friday, and you said it had come down Thursday in regards to that professor being killed.
Smart move. Smart move.
Yeah.
I don't think our troops should be wearing their uniforms at the airport. It just creates targets. They just create a target for cuckoo people.
Yeah. So, Eileen, have you learned anything about these SAT average scores where Massachusetts is doing worse than Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana?
I can only imagine. I believe it. 100,000%.
Okay. So, what about this note that I've had here for a couple of weeks? That the National Council of Teachers of English are pressuring teachers to drop requirements that students learn to speak and write standard American English. Have we gone that direction in Lowell Public Schools?
Say that again, Cliff?
The National Council of Teachers of English is pressuring teachers to drop the requirement that students learn to speak and write standard American English.
Yes, I think that's important, but our kids don't want to put the time into it.
Well, that's just too freaking bad. They gotta be able to write. Now here we have, they can't, now it's okay. They can't read, that's all right, let them go. They can't write, that's all right, let them go. What are we paying $18,000 a year for? The taxpayers are paying you $18,000 a year, the school department, for each kid. Whether the kid's a kindergarten year or a senior in high school, $18,000. Now the tuition over at Lowell Catholic High School is nowhere near $18,000 a year, and they put a better product out their door. And so that attitude of like, well, we're considering it, that's going to put you guys out of office. Give me a voucher for my kid.
What do you think about that, Eileen? Every parent should get a voucher for every kid, and they can spend it however they want?
No, they have to spend it on their education.
Well,
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think parents would really find other ways that, like they do with the EBT cards, they sell it for money. They wouldn't put their kids first. I know, especially in the city.
I got 2 comments from the audience, and I'll put this up like this. What does it cost per student in Alabama, Mississippi compared to Massachusetts? That's a good question, Jay. And I'll look that up in a second. At least it's not snowing out. They had a blizzard in the upper Midwest. Yeah, that's from Bart. Yeah, they did. Terrible time out the Midwest. Back over to you, Cliff. I'm going to look up what's it cost to go to school in Tennessee. Is that where the smart kids are?
Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
Okay.
So Eileen, did you see where there were bats in the belfry last Tuesday? Where you're going to have your meeting on Wednesday? Belinda Duran was talking, and some bat entered the city council chamber.
Cliff, I don't think you can see this, but in Alabama, it's $13,000 per student. What was the other one, Tennessee?
No, Mississippi. So, the city council was discussing...
Mississippi's 10,000 or 12,000. Incredible.
Louisiana.
Back over to you, Cliff.
Oh, check out Kansas, which had the top score. How much are they spending?
Okay.
So the city council was debating the question of putting a moratorium on data centers for the next year, including expansions of existing ones. And I'm afraid we're becoming Luddites here. And
what was the highest scoring state, Cliff?
Kansas.
Oh, Dorothy State, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm worried. Go ahead, John.
Blows the theory right out of the water. $18,858.
But they got the best scores.
Yeah. So let's pour more money into Massachusetts' educational system. I say give vouchers. They got no competition. Administration will pull their hair out. Give vouchers.
Well, I'm all for vouchers. I think that vouchers, you don't need vouchers for charter schools because they get paid just like public schools. But
per student, yep.
We'd have to change the Constitution to use that money for parochial schools. Could use it for private schools.
You can use it for public schools. You can still go to Lowell High.
Yeah.
You can still go to the Rogers School. I just don't think that have the 600 students at the Rogers School if the kids could go any place they wanted.
But how about homeschooling? Compensate the mother for not going to work, staying home and educating her children.
I'm against it.
Why is that?
I don't think there are enough mothers out there that would take the incentive to actually teach their children every day. Homeschooling, as you know, Cliff, is easier said than done. Would you say it's easier said than done?
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Okay, do you think most single moms would do that? When Oprah's on TV, The Price is Right? Come on now. Judge Judy, I'm not going to miss that stuff.
Well, of my 3 kids, the youngest, his family homeschools 4 kids. Seems to work pretty well.
It's easy, right? Piece of cake?
No,
Okay, and I just said, do you think the average single mom will do that? Sure, she'll want the money. Sure, give me the 18 grand. What do you think she'd put out the door?
I think she would work on producing the same kind of results as public schools. Eileen, where are you on this issue of vouchers?
Vouchers to give parents or vouchers for parents to be able to homeschool their students?
Or to send them to a private school?
I think there need to be more stringent controls on it because a lot of kids can't, because of their academic profile, are not able to make it in private school if they choose. A lot of parents also don't demonstrate or have the ability to teach kids with different types of learning disabilities, which is pretty prevalent still. And I don't think people realize that before they take that big slice of wanting to homeschool their student, that they may not have the skills to really help them progress. So I think it's a very fine line, but the number of kids being homeschooled is on the rise.
Right now, the homeschooled parent is not compensated, correct?
Right.
No, and I think they should be. They should get that per student capita rate.
They should get 18 grand a year for it?
Yeah. But they don't. Well, public keeps it. Or the city of Lowell.
Good question, Eileen, for the superintendent. That 18 grand, where does it go, Mr. Superintendent?
Right. But I also wanted to ask, because I know Fred Babu had put in a motion for more information on kids being homeschooled. I wanted to ask what types of supports we give these parents as the school that has housed the student. How are we having checks and balances on this? And I didn't ask because I'm afraid the answer is, well, I know that they have to submit so much work along the way, but I'm really afraid to hear the answer.
Well, the parents have to spend money on books. They can get curricular kind of activities. They get their kids tested. None of this is free. So for the homeschooling parent, they're not only paying the taxes, but they're paying extra money for their kids.
Yes. Right? And it's just simply by a vote of the school committee, which usually the school committee just doesn't question. They just let it happen. So, but that is something more interesting to dive into. I agree, John.
Two comments from the audience. Introduce AI into teaching. We don't need teachers. The kids are looking at screens already. I disagree, but that's okay. Thank you for your comment. Next comment, look at the numbers. When the Department of Education was formed, education was pushed aside for administration purposes only. That's from Jay. I agree, Jay. Education's gone on. The kid doesn't need to read. Now we don't want the kid to be able to write either.
I agree also, no child left behind left every child behind.
That's just a bumper sticker.
But it really did, because it's what started these district-wide tests, like the MCAS, and teachers teaching towards a test instead of teaching towards a curriculum.
Well, we teach to the test. We should teach to the test. What language should we teach the children? English, correct? Oh, no, let's teach them Swahili. No, we should teach English.
Yeah.
And if you can't read, we should put you in a school that knows how to teach you how to read. Now, I will admit that I fumbled my way through grammar school, high school, some of my college, and I really didn't have to buckle down and do any kind of schoolwork until I went to embalming school. But other than that, I just waffled my way through having a lot of young women that would help me take my tests, and it was fabulous. It was just easy street for me. Never had to read books. And it's been going on for generations. You can get away with it. I did.
Yeah. Did you ever get held back?
Second grade.
Okay. Did you see that as a punishment or as a good deal?
No, I had my appendix out. I was out of school for 6 weeks.
Ah. That makes sense then.
But when I stayed back, I loved it because I knew the curriculum, whatever the word is. I knew what to study. I knew how to do spelling, math. I knew how to do that stuff while the nun was teaching it. It was pretty cool. I loved it.
Okay. So, anyway, I'm wondering about if we can't have data centers, what else can we bring in as business to provide employment for the residents of Lowell and to give us tax revenue?
Got an interesting twist here, Cliff. Comment from Jay. Ban cell phones. No kid should get a cell phone till they're 16, just like a license. Most bad behavior is related to the cell phone. What say you? I agree. I was watching TV over the weekend, and they gave this kiddo, I forget what state he lived in, they gave this kiddo accolades for saving the bus. This kid was on the bus, realized that the bus driver was having a health issue, a seizure, whatever, heart attack, so the kid got out of his seat, plunked his foot down on the brake, and put the bus in park, thus saving the kids on the bus. And most of the kids admitted to the news media outlet that was interviewing them, they didn't even notice what was going on because they were playing with their phone. I found that very interesting.
Yeah. You have to be aware.
No, you don't. And most are not aware. When you, I mean, Cliff, you drive most of the time. I'm going to guess Martha's the passenger. But with Ellen's car, when it's in self-drive, you don't have to pay that much attention to the road. The car does the driving for you. It's fabulous. I know I'm a little spoiled, but that's okay. So I love riding in her car because I can glance over and see the guy driving next to me is looking at his cell phone all the time. You look to the other side, they're looking at their cell phone all the time. And nothing's being done about it.
Well, it's a problem. So, back to the school committee, Eileen. I read that the U.S. Supreme Court rejected schools keeping gender decisions from parents. Do we have a policy in Lowell public schools to hide gender changes from parents?
I hope not.
Oh. Okay. So, not that you know of. I mean, you've taught in Lowell schools, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of this in different school districts, definitely not Lowell. But with my son turning 13 recently, even the doctors say that my son has the ability to access his patient portal all by himself and to have private appointments with the doctor. So what that tells me is that my child can say or do whatever he wants at 13 right now.
Eileen, I think the doctor's making a lot of dough doing this portal thing. It's easier on you, easier on the doctor, and I don't think you get the attention that you need from a doctor from a TV screen.
Right? No, but just the fact, like, the medications, the messages, all the things you can do in a portal, my 13-year-old could send a message to the doctor saying, I want to be a woman. You know, and my parent is not understanding. And that to me is also something that is not good.
But don't you have access to the same portal?
Oh yeah, and I'd never tell my son that was an option in a million years. And that's my choice as a parent.
I actually find the Tufts portal to be useful. It's a place I can go and check and see if there might be an appointment in the coming week. Good list of medications, notes from the physician after the appointment.
Yes.
I like it. You don't like it, John?
I don't, sorry, Cliff, I was looking at the announcements. What's the question?
You don't like the medical portals?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think when you're offering, I mean, I get it. I think it's good for historical data and to get a list of your medicines if you need it, that's always helpful. But you could also get it from CVS or Walgreens or whatever pharmacy you choose to use.
Okay. So, before John hops into that, I saw a headline, Japan's surname law for married couples sparks same-name matchmaking parties in Tokyo. So apparently in Japan, if you get married, both members have to have the same last name. And I didn't see anything that said it had to be the husband's last name. But because of this, a couple of people came up with the idea that they ought to just match couples up with the same last names because that way it is a way of overcoming problems of people not wanting to lose their last name.
What does a doctor or a lawyer do?
They either get their spouse to change the name or they change their name to the spouse's name.
I think that's ridiculous. If I'm a lawyer, it's mostly, it's all on a woman, and so the woman has to change her name to the guy's name. That's just how it's going to go. And not for every case, but I would say 90% of the time, that's the way it's going to go. And that's wrong. If I'm already an attorney, and people know me by my last name, oh, Attorney McDonough, or I'm a doctor, McDonough, and all of a sudden I have to change my last name to Delrossi, I lose all of my patients. Who's Dr. Delrossi? I never heard of that clown. Where's McDonough? Same person. So I'm glad I don't live in Japan. Look, I got these announcements I'm going to do.
Oh, I wasn't finished with this.
Well, when we come back, we can finish it.
Weird.
All right, if you want to be on City Life, let's see if this is, if you want to be on City Life, real easy thing to do. Would love to have you. Just call my cell phone. We'll talk about it. So if you want to come on the show sometime, love to have you. All right, moving right along to the announcements here. We got this guy right here, and it says, Happy St. Patrick's Day from the Lowell Firefighters Club. Tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day, they're going to have corned beef and cabbage over there. Now, their address, if you want to put it in your car to get over there, is at 362 Fletcher Street. But to familiarize yourself, they're right across the street from the Market Basket on Fletcher Street. And great time. The food's great in there, and hope to see you there tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we got out in Tewksbury. Where is? Oh, it is shown. Okay, gotta look at the other screen to make sure it's on there. The 7th annual Guy Constantine Shamrock Dinner. I had the best Irish dinner in years out to this thing in the Tewksbury Sportsman's Club. You don't have to be a member. Any Tom, Dick, and Mary can go. Gigantic facility they have out there. They have a big rumpus room there where you sit down and eat at the Tewksbury Sportsman's Club, 90 Westford Road in Tewksbury, 4 to 8 p.m. For old-timers like me, $6. How can you beat that? $6. And the plate of food, you can go back for seconds. Good stuff. So I hope to see you over there tomorrow. Daffodil Day. Coming up over to Lowell General Hospital and Saints Campus. It's coming up on March 19th, 9 to 4 p.m. And $10 for a bunch of daffodils, $12 for a potted daffodil. The Tewksbury 9/11 Committee, they're having a fundraiser, and it's going to be at the Wamasett Lanes, 434 Main Street in Tewksbury, March 26th. And be there or be square. There's plenty of great food to have at the looking for the name of the place. Wamasett Lanes, that's what it's called. Wamasett, across the street from the JD's. The food in there is delicious. There's a lot of games to play. You can bowl. Always a lot of smiles in that building. So hope you can make it over there. If you have questions about this, you can call Mark Kratman. He's a selectman out in Tewksbury, a mover and shaker out there. The town's much better because Mark is out there, baby. He's a mover and shaker. His cell phone number and his email are there. Moving right along. This auction's coming up. And they're going to auction off the Superior Courthouse down at the corner of Elm and Gorham. And they're going to have a walkthrough. You can walk through the place, as you can see, tours Wednesday, March 18th. That's tomorrow. No, that's this week. It's Wednesday this week. And Tuesday, March 24th. That's next week. And questions you can call up. And bit of qualifications. I don't know anything about this stuff. So you're better off to be in touch with this guy. I think his name is Charlie Gill. Good guy. But you call this 800 number, 800-521-0111, and ask them whatever you need to know. If you want to bid on that building, they'd be happy to talk with you. Taste of the Town out in Tewksbury. Wilmington Tewksbury Chamber of Commerce presents Hilton Garden in Tewksbury, 4 Highwood Drive, Tewksbury, Thursday, April 9th, 5 to 8 p.m. That's all the restaurants in the towns come together. They have like a buffet of food there. Fantastic time. That's my last announcement, Cliff. Going back over to you.
Okay. So just to finish up on the Japanese issue, they're going to have 4 get-togethers based on names: Suzuki, Tanaka, Saito, and Ito. And this could ease the angst on the part of young people who don't want to necessarily have to change their name. I think it's a creative, citizen-like solution to the fact that the politicians can't get around to fixing this problem.
Cliff, public education in Japan,
Yeah,
$1,950 to $3,200.
for a student,
That's what it says here.
that seems unusually low.
Yeah, it does. Just a FYI, something we might want to investigate. Thanks.
Okay,
Cliff, I got to step out and see if we're on LTC. I'll be back in a minute or so.
all right. So Eileen, here's something for you to comment on. Older women are set to inherit most of $54 trillion in a great wealth transfer to widowed spouses. Have you heard about that? Eileen?
Widow spouses are supposed to get something?
Yeah, when your spouse dies, they're looking forward, they figure there'll be about $54 trillion will be in the state value will go to the surviving spouse.
Wow.
And women live longer than men. Men, when they're born, are expected to live 76 and a half years. Women, 81.4 years. Although
Wow.
it narrows. Go ahead, Eileen.
I think it sets the woman up to be more secure if their husband passes before.
Yep. But as far as age differences go, if at age 65, the men's expected life is 83.4, women 85.8. So it starts to narrow a bit. So women are expected to receive most of the spouse-to-spouse wealth that get passed on between 2024 and 2048. It's estimated 124 trillion will be passed on largely by baby boomers, those born between 46 and 64, and older generations. So it's pretty interesting. When was your father's passed away?
Yes, he passed away, and then my mom became the executrix of his estate. And so what would this, he passed away about 15 years ago. It was actually just 15 years ago. So what would my mom get out of this?
Well, she got everything, right?
Well, she did, yes, but are you saying that they're creating a new law, or what were you saying? Because I didn't really fully listen.
What they're saying is that it turns out that people like your mom are more numerous than the surviving widowers, and therefore there's this wealth transfer from couples to single people.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, my mom did inherit everything. Yeah. And then yeah, for a little bit it was a struggle because there wasn't. I mean, there was a loss. She ended up eventually being able to get my father's survivor benefits, but it takes a while to get anything done when somebody first passes away. You have to submit death certificates everywhere. But I remember at first, because that's around the time I moved back in with my mother, and there was just a lot of technicalities that we had to deal with. And being probably more tech savvy than her, like I just remember, like, you can leave no stone unturned, so it's a lot of work to even get that done.
Did anybody say anything about if it would have made a difference if there had been a trust?
So it's interesting because my parents created a will in 2009. My dad did not pass away until 2011. And the will had just stated that if one was to pass before the surviving spouse. I don't think a trust would have made it easier because, I mean, all we like, I remember having to sign off, like, probate documents that my mother was the executrix and so forth. So in this case, it didn't really matter. What will matter more is that there is an accurate trust in place when my mom passes.
Okay.
Because that, go ahead, what were you going to say?
No, you're going to follow up, and that's what I was going to ask about. Tell us about this.
So my mother essentially owns 3 houses. And so there's a lot because then it kind of goes towards what's going on with the city of Lowell, right? Because everything with the senior center building, right? So a trust is a trust, right? And it's, if you don't own it, then it's not yours, right? So my mother owns all of these houses and all of the debts are in her name. Like, so additionally, getting her children's name on her mortgage accounts is important, on her bank accounts is important, and so forth. And I don't think people realize how important it is to do all of that, even if there is a trust in place.
Yeah. Maybe, John, we should invite some lawyer to come on and talk about this for 15 or 20 minutes.
Well, we have a lawyer that comes like once every 2 months. And she talks about trust then. But I'll ask if she wants to come on a Monday.
Okay. So, down on Beacon Hill, the House Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security was conducting hearings on the PROTECT Act. It was filed by the Black and Latino Legislative Caucus that would ban federal immigration officials from making civil arrests in Massachusetts courthouses. But that seems like one of the easiest places to make an arrest. The police bring an illegal alien into the courthouse. He or she is dealt with by the system and then passed over to the federal government for any deportation action. I don't think I understand what they're trying to do. It looks to me like it's going to create more chaos, make us look more like Minnesota than Kansas, and we won't have an orderly process. But
Cliff, the courthouse is the speed of government, and you know, most people know what the speed of government is. What's slower than the speed of government? The speed of the courts. The courts in Massachusetts are just as badly in shape as ice. So I'm suing you over a bicycle accident. You were riding your bicycle, I was riding my bicycle. You didn't stop at the stop sign, you collided into me, that's my thing. And you say, I didn't stop at the stop sign, I collided into you. In 7 years, this will be resolved. 7 years.
well, it's fortunate courthouses because we're not having defense counsel show up because we're not paying them enough, and therefore cases are being dismissed because there is no defense lawyer available for the defendant.
And we just elected a do-nothing senator, Vanna Howard, who's not going to do a doggone thing about the courts.
And probably couldn't unless the Senate president wants it to happen. I mean, she's got her foot on the neck of the.
She won't say a word. She's a cowardly lion. Comment from the audience. Don't forget about the judge who let the illegal out the back door when ICE was looking for him. I think she went to jail, didn't she?
Well, I don't know. She got convicted. Which should be embarrassing for a judge, I would think.
Well, they really think it's their courthouse. This is my court. Excuse me, this is a public building, brainless person. It's the people's court. It's not your court. Get out of my courtroom. Excuse me? It's not your courtroom, Your Honor. It's the public's courtroom. That's just my take, Cliff. Do you think the judge owns the courtroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've created a system where the judge owns the courtroom and has a bailiff to enforce his rules, or her rules.
Interesting. And you see where that's gotten us? 7 years long streak. Delay, delay, delay.
But a lot of our judges are appointed by the governor, who obviously they don't always have the best intentions. Look at the Karen Reed case, though. That judge, there was definitely something not adding up there. And you just look at certain cases, like Kelsey Fitzsimmons, who went to go get her bail rectified and ended up back in jail after North Andover police stormed into her house to take her baby armed. You know, it's interesting.
You know, it's sad. I have a lot of attorney friends, and they won't argue with me. The first 3 courses you take in law school is, first course is slow down. Second course is you're going way too fast. And the third course is you're still going too fast. Now, once you pass those 3 courses, you'll learn to slow down pretty good, wouldn't you say? They teach them this stuff in law school. Delay, delay, delay. Settle outside the courtroom. And I don't know about this administration, but I know previous administration, that was the policy of the city of Lowell. Delay, delay, delay. Try to settle outside the courtroom.
Yeah. I think that part of this is that we aren't an official sanctuary state, but I think we're becoming a sanctuary state.
Well, the investigation of fraud has got to be pushed for, but when you have cowardly lion going down to be a state senator, I don't see that ever happening.
Well, wait, isn't a former city councilor? Isn't he employed by the state to investigate fraud?
Yeah, he's one guy for the whole state.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Not good. So I wanted to.
You're talking about Cory Belanger.
Cory Belanger. I wanted to call out Gavin Newsom. There's an expression amongst people I read about the Corbynization of the Democratic Party.
What's Corbynization?
Which is taken from the former British Prime Minister Jeremy Corbyn, who turned out to be pretty anti-Semitic. And so the Corbyn...
Whoa. What was that word you just used?
Anti-Semitic.
Okay, it didn't come out. It didn't sound that way. I understand anti-Semitic.
So, anyway, Gavin Newsom recently told a friendly audience that critics were appropriately calling Israel an apartheid state. I mean, is Israel an apartheid state? I don't think so.
What do you mean by apartheid?
Well, it's an expression taken from South Africa.
Well, see, Cliff, when they use all these foggy words, it really turns into a tumble dryer. You're looking at the glass window of a tumble dryer, and you can't get a picture. It's a tumble dryer word that they throw in there that could mean this, it could mean that. Apartheid. I never
Well, what
heard
word would
of
you
Israel
use?
being an apartheid.
What word would you use?
Jewishly leaning. It's a Jewish state.
Apartheid conveys the idea that the non-Jewish people are being excluded.
That's true.
But yet, you have Palestinians who get elected to the Knesset, right?
I don't know.
So I don't think they're being excluded.
They are.
How are they being excluded?
Name one of them that made it into the military. All Israelis have to go through the military. Only the Jewish Israelis go to the military.
Not all of them, but yeah.
Say that again?
Not all of them.
They're all Jews. I'm
But
not
the
putting the Jews down,
Orthodox-
but I'm just telling you, when I was there, the girl I spoke to for about a half an hour, uniformed, I think she was like a lieutenant or something, and we had enjoyed a nice little conversation. It was all about me jaywalking, and she told me only Jews go in the service. Palestinians don't have to. It's required. You have to go in the service, and only Jews go in the service. That's what this girl put into my ear. Now, did I do any homework? No. I don't do homework. I take my, you're not going to lie to me. I don't think she was lying to me either.
Well, anyway, the issue in my mind is the Democratic Party turning against Israel.
Yep.
And I see that as a bad sign.
I think the Democratic Party should embrace everybody. Comment from the audience, we need a media to report the truth about the amount of fraud that's happening. Ain't gonna happen. That's like, you know all the drugs you're taking, do they make you sicker? There'll never be an investigation on 60 Minutes because every third commercial on 60 Minutes is for a drug. They're never going to bite the hand that feeds them. They actually miss the tobacco companies. The television media does.
So, Eileen. Ahoy, Eileen. You got any thoughts on this about, is the Democratic Party turning anti-Jewish?
I don't know, honestly. What makes you believe that?
Well, I thought Gavin Newsom calling Israel an apartheid state was a bad indicator. Where's all this support for Palestinians from the river to the sea coming from if it's not from the Democratic Party?
Hollywood.
Hollywood?
When I watched the Oscars last night, some guy get up and said, "Free Palestine," and he got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
That's
So-
Hollywood.
What did he mean by free Palestine, do you think?
The television doesn't take questions.
Well, that's true.
So
But,
I have no idea. He could have said Jiminy Crickets. I wouldn't know what I wouldn't be able to ask him, why'd you say Jiminy Crickets?
Well, so we're not meeting our energy needs, as obvious by the price of energy going up. But somebody had an article that Micron spent 4 years doing environmental reviews to build a power plant. They haven't broken ground yet, and they're already being sued again, which promises delays for 6 more years. Back to John's point about how slow the courts are. And the take of the person writing the article was, China has effectively blocked all new fabrication development in the U.S. by funding NIMBY groups. You know what a NIMBY is, John?
Not in my backyard.
Exactly. NIMBY groups to wage environmental warfare, and only cost them about $100,000. So I think we have an energy problem, and I think we're seeing it in the market also.
Did we have an energy product 6 weeks ago? Energy problem 6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I don't think we did. Comment from the audience, if you're against the government of Israel, does that make you anti-Semitic?
I think if you're against the government itself, no.
A good point.
But if you're against the country of Israel, if you're mouthing from the river to the sea, I think that makes you anti-Semitic.
I think you're anti-Semitic if you hate Jews, or you dislike Jews, distrust Jews. If you're anti-Irish, I'm not going to see you at the Firefighters Club tomorrow afternoon for corned beef and cabbage. You're just not going to be there because you're anti-Irish. And we don't take it to heart, we don't care, it's just more food for me. But this anti-Semitic business, they kill people for it. And on the other hand, what happened in Israel killing the Palestinians, it was overkill there. So when you look at the pictures that come from the Middle East, it was overkill. And continues to be overkill. Are they still bombing Gaza? I got some bombs left in my plane. Oh, head down to Gaza, blow some more stuff up.
So what is the solution in Gaza?
I don't know all of the ingredients, Cliff, but we all need to live someplace. And the fact that the Israeli government wants that coastal community to convert it into a multi-million-dollar area of residences and hotels, and it's a beautiful beach area. I think that's what the Israelis want to do with it, the Israeli government. They want the Palestinians out of there so they can redevelop it and make some pretty good dough.
I thought that was Donald Trump's view. So, yeah.
Sometimes we think alike. He doesn't call me very often, like he used to.
Yeah.
But, I think that's what's happening. They just want the Palestinians out of there to be able to develop it.
So, unlike you, I think 6 weeks ago we had an energy problem. And people were writing about it and talking about it.
When couldn't you get gas in your car, Cliff?
Well, not in terms of gas, but in terms of electric power production.
Cliff, I charged my wife's electric car. The furnace works just dandy. There's not enough energy coming down the grid to make Mark Lay happy. So they lost their fight with the power company to give them more juice. So they had to put in their own generators. And other than Mark Lay, everybody else is getting... I never have a problem plugging something. Do you have a problem plugging anything in at your house, Cliff?
No.
So what are you talking about?
Well, the price of electricity is going up, right?
If you look at the bill, if the government took all of their charges out of there, Like this business of transporting over a line. Somebody needs to sue the power company for all this crap they're charging us for. But there's
Shouldn't
nobody.
they be allowed to make a
nobody-
profit?
Of course they're allowed to make a profit, Cliff, but they're screwing you 15 times. Look at your bill. Do you ever look at your bill? The itemization of your bill?
Yeah, once in a while.
I
I haven't looked at it in detail.
Please do. Please do. You'll change your mind.
I'm just shocked by the amount of money I'm spending. That I think that if Markley's not getting enough electrical power, what's any other company going to do? How are they going to handle it?
Markley, I don't know. I think Markley goes in with hammer and screwdriver and tries to chisel their way into your life, and they don't come in a nice way, a neighborly way. Hey, what would it take for us to get more juice? I don't think they approach the power company in that fashion. They're not good neighbors. I got a text here. I hope the people realize that Markley was approved by the city council. Well, it was sold to them as a big bag of ribbons and wonderful things, and they're not. Another great show today from the Colonel. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day. That's from Bart.
Okay, Eileen, I have a question for you. Hello, Eileen.
Ask the
And
question.
hopefully I have an answer for you, Cliff. What's the
Good.
question?
Oh, okay. What book are you currently reading?
Lateral Thinking by Cliff Krieger.
I did not write Lateral Thinking.
Hey,
Edward DePono wrote Lateral Thinking.
tomorrow's a big day. Big day tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. Karen Casella's our guest. Bobby Hoey will be here. Tom Bone will be back. And Cisco Maldonado, he'll be here too. That's tomorrow. City Life. Time is short, Cliff.
All right, Eileen, are you getting anything out of the Lateral Thinking?
Yeah, it is very interesting. I'm getting that it's just important to think more outside of the box than inside of the box.
Yeah. That book was a textbook when I went to staff college in the UK. It was written by an Australian. I thought it was pretty interesting. So, I'm reading a book called His Side by a psychologist, Helen Smith, and she's interviewing young men. Yes. She's interviewing young men to get their view on relationships with women. And right now the tendency in the book is to view women as being pretty demanding and dominating, and that men are expected to be subservient to women, but yet the idea that men should show their feelings, neither the men nor the believe in that, and they don't think the women believe in that either. So it makes an interesting issue. What do you think, Eileen?
60 seconds.
Should men be showing their feelings?
Yeah, it's important. I think in a relationship, 1 and 1 doesn't make 2. It should make 11, where both people are putting both 100% in. Because it takes work, and if one person's subservient, they're going to get animosity.
Okay. But do you think women are now dominating men?
I've seen it, yes. I've seen it.
Is that good or is that not good?
No, it's not good because nobody should dominate anybody, especially in a relationship. It's hard enough. You need to both give 100%. If you can't give 100%, then you should ask your partner how much more they can give in the moment because you don't have your 100%. Maybe you have 60 or 80. That was from Brene Brown.
Say goodbye, kids. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, bye.
Cliff, good show.
Okay, dog. We'll talk to you.
Happy St. Patrick's Week. I'll talk to you on Friday.
All right.
Thanks, Cliff.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Eileen. I'll see you, Tom.